Alright guys, thanks for joining. We got Hyun-Cheol on Miracles on our left and Sang-Eun playing Burn on the right. This was actually a weekend event. This was the semifinals. I did not think that all of the videos were very entertaining. Some games were pretty bad, so I had to trash some of the coverage, which means that I did not just upload round 1, 2, 3, 4, round 5, and then the semis and quarters and whatever. This is the semis, and a Goblin Guide has gotten sorted with Hyun-Cheol taking his free look at a card and shuffling away his Portent. This matchup for both players is pretty interesting. To feel like Miracles took a big hit, losing top, obviously, but especially in this matchup where locking out 1s and 2s was all you needed to do, and just make sure that you don't die to Price of Progress later, which is, quite easy. It looks like he could opt to just Terminus this thing away. He could opt to sword it. It looks like he will not be placing the Terminus on top here, so he has other plans for it. I think maybe he did. Yeah, okay. So get rid of the Eidolon without even taking any damage. Low price of 1. What a cheat. And if we just keep playing basics here, I have to feel like Hyun-Cheol has already dealt with everything quite easily. Still at 19 on turn 3. Wow. Lava Spike U. Chain Lightning U. Main deck Flusterstorm. Interesting. That's a card that I love to put in on the Burn matchup post board, so having one main board is quite nice. He draws the Portent that he had last turn, and he'll take a look at the top of his library here. Revealing Portent, Terminus, Caracas. That looks kind of like a shuffle to me, but I guess you can keep the Portent. Whoa. Yeah, some missequencing there, but it's all right. The end result is the same. I believe Sang-Eun is reading Portent in English upside down. You do you, man. And he's got a soft hand here now. He managed to get his opponent down to 12, but he doesn't have another good follow-up. And with an opponent that is already up to 4 basics here, I can't see this game going too well for him. He's going to have access to multiple snaps and swords that he needs, and then probably lock the game up with a Jace as soon as he finds it. Ooh, Portent to you. Yeah, time to flip that guy upside. Sees Swift Spear, Fire Blast. And those cards are good, so he's going to shuffle his deck, right? Yeah. That was quite a good sequence of draws, so I agree with the shuffle here. Obviously, a lot of things can go wrong. Now, when you pass the turn, we will draw on upkeep. Normally, when I'm playing this card, yeah, go ahead and just say pass, but I'm going to draw on your upkeep. And a main phase Brainstorm. Now he's just going to go ahead and dig towards a win condition. From the amount of cards we've seen, I think that there is... this isn't like a Terminus in the sideboard build. This is sort of one of the more original New Miracles lists. He does not even have Monastery Mentor. I'm going to predict myself. Name Terminus. Draw 2. And his pace of play is improving significantly as he does nothing but ponder for Jace the Mind Sculptor. And there it is. Terminus the bottom three. No, Terminus second. Draw a Jace. Slam a Jace. Fate Seal is okay. And now the burn player has to feel like, oh, Hardcast Fire Blast actually resolves. There could be a window here. I mean, if his hand was strong, it appears that the shields are down for Hyun-Cheol right now, but they won't be for very long. Okay, so it's getting pretty close, and it's quite possible for the Miracles player to just sort of run out of gas here. I think that he requires a Ponder, probably a Brainstorm this turn as well, and then maybe a Predict to get rid of the top. One problem here being that you can't counter things forever. Fate Seal does sort of work almost forever, but most of the burn deck does exactly the same thing. So when you do not come up with a win condition quickly enough, you will die. Those are either Spell Pierces or Force of Wills. I can't tell from here. And it remains to be seen whether he's going to predict away those cards. He'll pass the turn, and 2 mana, so I assume that is a counterspell. Counterspell that suspended Rift Bolt, and you almost got there. Interesting choice. Yep. Alright. Force of Will the Lightning Bolt. Do what you gotta do. He just has such a high card quantity. Provided he stops finding fetches and white cards, he could do okay here. So that a virtual 6 if he doesn't need to shuffle. So, Chain Lightning will be Snap, I'd assume Counterspell. Giving him a clock now. Oh, that's... okay. Perfectly reasonable given the situation. Bring yourself up to 9. Basically counter the Searing Blood. Gets rid of the top of his library again, and we'll now have to go ahead and try to find another creature to kill San-Eun with, but it shouldn't be that hard to find another Snapcaster. And now imagine how easy this matchup must have been when you had countertop. I mean, without counterbalance, this is just... it's quite slow. This guy would have conceded ages ago. Now Jace is on his way up, and I can't see San-Eun managing to draw a good enough number of runners. Yeah, not when that's happening. I feel like that beautiful Terminist Eidolon at the beginning really set the tone for this game. He made it look extremely easy. He didn't even bother looking for a land there. Alright. So that's where we're at, huh? Draws Caracas for the turn. I don't think he will even play it. I certainly wouldn't play it. And as Sang-Eun here, if I'm on the right, there's no way I'm playing this game anymore. Okay, go ahead and give Jace a look-see and go ahead and scoop him up. Please, I'm begging you. So when Jace untaps, you will lose this game. So we'll go ahead and shuffle our cards back in and see what Sang-Eun wants to bring in for post-board games. I have to admit, I don't really know the matchup very well. From the Miracle side, I have to assume that you bring in all the counters you can, take out some of your clunkier stuff, and then maybe maximize your clock via Monastery Mentor. Which means that from the burn side, I really don't want to remove any of those Searing Bloods or anything. And Goblin Guide lives, does his 2 damage, draws a Flooded Strand, and it's going to be extremely hard to get through this ley line. He's going to need to do it with creatures, so how do we do it? We play a lot of creatures. And that's how you start it. This is quite a nice clock here. We know that there's no terminus on the top. This might have just incidentally been a fantastic draw from Sang-Eun to get past this ley line. Trigger 1. It's another sword. So you got to fetch now, sword that one, and go for it again. I don't think it matters what order you resolve this in. You can just fetch and then... Okay, so reveal, brainstorm for the second one, sword before damage. And then he will take 2. And wow, if Vortex is going to resolve, this is exactly what he needs. Hyun-Cheol he's not being targeted, and he can no longer, he can no longer gain any life. You can see when Sang-Eun tried to lay that Vortex on the table, he did not expect that to resolve, but he's a clear favorite now. I mean, what do you do? Untap, take 2. Still Goblin Guide on the table. And an Eidolon. So what, we go to combat, we try to swing him for 2, he does something, and then we slam an Eidolon. I think that this card is getting unexpectedly absented. So Hyun-Cheol already down to 8. And he's going to tap himself low and... Oh, I see. Snap Sword. Oh man, if we had known that this was going to happen, then the Eidolon would have been much better. But as it is, I think that the Eidolon is still going to just wreck. Oh, he chooses not to play it. Okay. Yeah, Searing Blood does not target. Or rather, does not target in that way. Ah, okay. Pithing Needle. We'll probably name Jace the Mind Sculptor. Pass that turn and he goes down to 3. I don't think that Sang-Eun has to do anything else for the remainder of this game. Wow, he crept out from underneath the Ley Line of Sanctity. That is insane. Is that going down to 1 or 0? Unexpected absent for 0. Brainstorm in response to the Eidolon. I do not see very much here that's going to save you from an Eidolon of the Great Revel. That is very interesting how the Searing Blood worked out there. My first instinct was ignore everything, slam Eidolon, because he's going to try to like ponder his way out of this problem. But the end result is nearly the same here. We've still got a player scrambling to try to find an answer to the Eidolon before it hits the table. But I think if you had played it first when he was tapped out, then it's sort of the nail in the coffin. Also, I mean, he's going to draw that Volcanic Fallout again. And it's always going to be played on his main step before you untap, so it's not like time walking a player by putting their attacking creature on top. Volcanic Fallout in that way sort of just seems like it has haste, right? What are you going to do? I think you're going to concede the game. Wow, Sang-Eun. That was very impressive from sitting down across from a turn 0 Leyline of Sanctity, which I've always heard is exactly what you want against Burn. I've never played a card like that, so I don't believe in white cards in Legacy. But that was quite insane. Also, just to let you guys know, this is the very last video that I shot with my old tripod, giving this sort of weird 3/4 view, aka like what I think of when playing Diablo. I don't know what it's actually called. This in real life terms, but this weird view where we sort of are tilted all over the place, and then the GoPro has a fisheye lens. We're gonna improve that. I believe I fixed my lighting issues and got a full top-down view as of this last week. So I will upload those soon. And Swifty, let's get Swifty. Oof. Is not interested in these 2-land snaps. Should be Delta or Flooded Strand go. Is he holding 2 Flusterstorm? See what happens to Taylor Swiftspear. I guess it's nothing. And can you answer this Eidolon? With a Force of Will, perfectly reasonable. That card is a monster. And we'll see if some prowess happens. Yeah. Let's see. Do we have a Lava Spike? Prowess triggers on the stack. Lava Spike resolves. Put you to 13. Attack with two 3s. Heyo. Look how bored Sang-Eun looks. He's like, yeah, just, you know. Okay, that is fine. There's a fetch, and then 2 damage. Yeah. You were at 13, then now you fetch to 11. You're going to 9, man. No way around it. So, Swiftspear number 1 has unexpectedly appeared on the top of the library. He's got haste, so he's going to come back. I'm sorry, she. My bad. That cute little monk is going to... I don't know, man. She's vicious. Heyo! And we'll see if we got a bolt or a spike. We have a chain lightning. Heyo! Man, so this guy, Sang-Eun, every time he sits down across from me, I start tilting immediately. I have to say, I took him down last time, but it feels like I've had to make some suboptimal changes. Like, I was playing check pile with a GT in the main and a Gurmag angler, because Burn just sucks, man. Jace, Snap, Sword. Hey. Yeah, I think we want that sword. And Snap Sword as well. But we are still at 5. I say we because I think I always put myself in the shoes of the person either losing or on the left. Or both. Okay. Here's the Desperation Brainstorm. When you're not sure if there's something left in your deck that will save you, you're pretty sure there isn't, but you brainstorm anyway. Way to go, Sang-Eun. He's moving to the quarterfinals, of which I unfortunately do not have film. He did not do that well. I think In-Hyuk won. GG.